Oh, DPD, is that a whiskey delivery? So we like these bottles hot off the press, and as bottle killer, he always likes to buy the new releases. And it seems like even on a Sunday, there's a whiskey delivery coming in, and I can't remember what he said that he's purchased. Let's find out. So, what's hot off the press? What is the deliveries?
It doesn't get much more hot off the press. Make sure it doesn't fall off. Let's get this open.
What did you get? Oh, are you gonna do a reveal or?
Yeah, I think just crack on. You know me. As soon as they come, I'm like a kid in a toy shop. I can't wait to get them open. So we've got a couple of new releases here. Firstly, a distillery that holds a pretty special place in my heart at the moment is Loch Lomond.
You like the Combat Kings?
So we've got a Loch Lomond. Basically, they sponsor the Open each year, and they do a special release for the Open. So this is the 2025 one. I actually just bottle killed. Was it last year's or the year before when it was in Hoylake? It was in Hoylake, wasn't it? And this is a Chianti wine cask. And then what we have here is a new Talisker. So Talisker have been doing a bit of a collaboration with something called the Blue Marine Foundation. And this one's called the Wild Blue. I believe it's the second one in the series. And it's also a wine cask finish. It's finished in South African red wine casks. So
these are freezing. So I think
they're literally just like they're straight off like the DPD. I think they just got released like this week. So
I think because we have the we've just been talking about Talisker. Let's give that a run.
Should we pop it?
Let's pop it. Let's do a review hot off the press.
2 bottle pops in one episode. I mean, we spoil you. You know, you subscribers. You're lucky.
The secret. Now we'll know if people have watched the episode, how long they've watched it, because they'll know if there's a Talisker.
Exactly.
And we'll put it in chapters so you can go to when we do the comeback. I love the pop. When we come back to the Corryvreckan and we give some samples out for reviews, and we come back and we do sort of a conclusion. We'll chapter it out if you want to skip to that. But this is hot off the press. I'm liking it. So. Talisker, this is one that you kind of never lost faith in Talisker. A lot of people, again, like Ardbeg, people are losing faith in Talisker and saying that it's not quite what it used to be. Talisker 10, I was seeing Tesco for 30 quid now on Club Card, which my business brain says to me that they're trying to get market
share.
Market share, yeah. They're trying to really get their brand out there. Cheaply using Tesco Club Card, which is kind of a strategy that Jora used, and no one really respects Jora, right?
No,
it kind of no one's really. Well, we don't know. Maybe someone like a Chris, that will buy the majority of his whiskey.
Chris is a bad example because he just likes everything.
No, but he buys. It's true, but he buys the majority of his whiskey. Well, Winnie buys the majority of his whiskey, right? So he doesn't even choose it, but it's the people that buy the majority of the whiskey in Tesco, maybe there's a big Jora fan club. I don't know. They think that it's.
I don't know. I've never met them if there is. But yeah, so this is the Talisker. It's called Wild Blue. Sorry, I was going to call it Blue Seas. The first one that they did was Wilder Seas, and that was a cognac cask finish. And these are all recycled glass. I can't remember exactly how much, but a certain portion if you do buy the bottle. And this is we're not sponsored. Like, I just bought this and it's been sent by DPD, so we're not plugging nothing here. But a portion of the proceeds go to the ocean charity to help keep the oceans clean and get all that bad plastic out of there. So
that's great cause.
Credibility, recycled glass, like I say. And this is finished in South African wine casks.
What's the company that does the recycling? Because I bought a watch recently by Blue Marine. It was Sea Shepherd. There was a watch made from ocean plastic. Same thing.
There might be a sort of. I'm trying to think what was. Oh, it was the Ardnahoe. When we got the Ardnahoe Infinite Lock, and we just drank Octomore. So there might be a bit of Talisker doesn't get a fair shake here because we're just coming off the back of the 2010 Corryvreckan, 2 of our favourite Ardbegs of all time.
And a very, very, a dram that's unmistakable.
Yeah.
It's like, It's like Corey Beckin's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right? it's a big boy.
It is
when it comes to whiskey. So yeah, what percentage is this?
I want to say 48.
48, interestingly. And what?
48.2. So they've gone relatively high because I think the 10-year-old is like 43, maybe.
And just full disclosure, I've never actually enjoyed Talisker.
You're not a fan, are you?
Not a fan.
Not a fan
at all. So maybe with the strength of the Corey Beckin, maybe it won't be such a jump up to Talisker. Maybe this will get. I've already set the palette for something that's a little bit different. Maybe it's a little bit different for me. Was there a certain cask in this? Sorry, I didn't say. I know this was the wine the Toy Jar wine.
Yeah,
cask.
so this is a South African wine cask finish as well. I'm pretty sure.
I usually like a wine cask.
Yeah, Cabernet Cab Sav.
So it's got that like sort of like it's like a sea breeze TPC.
Well, so this is the thing, this is why. Yeah, but this is why I can't wrap my head around why or what you don't like about Talisker, because for me, I'm a big fan, and it's one that I will always get. I mean, the special release, Amazon in that spring sale, they did, I think it was the 2021 or 2022 special release for 60 quid. Now, part of me thinks like, I'm a mug because I bought it when it first came out and it was probably about 110 quid, and it just shows how much margin like these guys are playing with, and which is quite relevant to this episode because that's what we're talking about.
Jeff was like, we need to get these out of the warehouse.
Price is going up. He just wants them out of the warehouse. But it's a really good dram, and I do like Talisker. I always buy them. I got the old particular that was recommended when we were up in the Puffin Rooms in Edinburgh.
I want a Puffin Room shout out.
I bought it maybe a year after you.
Yeah,
I love it. It's very
well. That's my one bottle of Talisker, and I've tried many times to get into it, and it just for some reason. So I'm basing my Talisker journey on this one old particular 10-year-old single cask Talisker, and for whatever reason, I just can't. It doesn't work with me.
Which is what I find strange because like Talisker is
you love that bottle, don't you?
Super maritime. Like it's a really maritime-y dram. And it's got a bit of peat to it. Like, it's not heavily peated, and it's not, some of them, I mean, the 18-year-old is phenomenal. That is one of my favourite whiskies of all time. Talisker 18 years old. I just don't understand, like, what you don't
It's weird because our friend Dariush loves Talisker as well, doesn't he? Really loves it.
On paper, you should love Talisker.
Yeah, yeah.
But for some reason...
But as I said, I've only tried the old particular 10-year-old.
Okay. And that's
based on one bottle,
that's a very light whiskey, and it's a refill... It's a refill hogshead. So it's like, basically it's not a first fill bourbon cask, so maybe it's got less flavour and more of the distillate coming through, but I don't know. I like it. And this, you wonder, you often don't get with Diageo and with Talisker is, people, they want to know how the whiskey has been produced, like the integrity of the whiskey and whether it's natural colour or non-chill filtered. You don't tend to get much of that, information with Diageo. Partly because I think they don't need to because they've already got the brand, like the distilleries.
Apparently, is chill filtered now. Talisker.
People,
so that's one of their beefs that people have with it, which is a good thing about Ardbeg is that it's always non-chill filtered. They still do make it in the right way.
Wonder the colour of it. Like, does it actually have colour in it?
Ardbeg is the pricing that looks like it's got colour in it.
It does look like.
But just one thing, Jay, which I think is worth noting, and you might want to just like warm your glass a little bit. These bottles are freezing cold. These have just come from DPD. These are freezing cold.
They are cold.
How have they got so cold? So that's going to limit some of the flavour you're able to get out of them, and actually that's going to dwell a bit of the Talisker flavour. Because I just tried that and I like it, but I think it's a little cold. And
stick it in the oven for 10 minutes.
We have a friend on Dave. Has he been on an episode?
He's not been on an episode yet.
We're still waiting for Dublin Vlog, aren't we?
We need to get him on.
We're still waiting for Dublin Vlog, but he asked a question at distillery. He's like, "Was it okay to keep your bottles of whiskey in the oven just to warm them up a little bit before you drink them?" And everyone laughed, but his point was that what was the answer? It was just like, well, cold whiskey does dull the flavour of whiskey, doesn't it? That's why when people put ice in it, the reason that a whiskey purist would not put ice in a whiskey is because it takes out some of that complexity. It takes out some of the flavors. It dulls them. So if you really want to get the full flavor and what a particular cask can do, like have it at room temperature.
Yeah, well, I think
don't cook it to 230 degrees.
No.
Though. It's not a pizza.
I think people were sort of a bit like, what is he talking about at first? But then when actually the logic, I think what he said was he keeps it in a cupboard next to the oven.
Oh, okay.
So, and then everyone, and like even Molly was like, oh, that kind of makes a bit of sense. To,
oh, well,
Molly. It like
it's Deanston.
Room temperature. Yeah, it was at Deanston. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like to necessarily go into a full review of this. Obviously, like it's just come straight off the van, and like Mike said, it's a little bit on the cold side. But in terms of like your past experiences of Talisker, what are your thoughts on this? Because you like a wine cask, so
well, Talisker has an undeniable footprint, and it's a little bit more. It seems to be a little bit more disguised than it was in the old particular. And actually, it's the drier. It's a very dry whiskey, and I like dry whiskey.
Yeah.
And so the dryness is actually suiting my tongue and my palate quite a lot. So it's kind of got that. It seeps into your tongue, flavor, rhythm to it, and it's So actually, yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this.
Sweet and dry. Again, the thing that I would say is you do usually get a bit of kind of maritime smoke, and it's very unique. Like Michael said, it's got its own footprint, Talisker, but I feel as though some of that is probably lost on us because we've just literally like finished the Corrie Vrecken, and then this.
That's true.
The doorbell rings, and it's like, oh, let's hop into the Talisker.
That's true. So the reason maybe that I'm handling the Talisker better is just because I've had the like napalm on the tongue, which is Corrie Vrecken.
Yeah. But there is that. There's, again, sort of sweet red fruits, red berries, a little bit of saltiness. Smokiness is probably subdued. But what's unmistakable about this whiskey is that there's a lot of that dryness.
I love that dryness
from the wine casks. No, it's just solid. Like I think this is a good release.
How much was it? What's the stats?
Yeah, it's not cheap. What did I end up paying for it? I think it was 81 pounds, and it's a no age statement. Obviously it's got some like nice wine casks that it's finished in from South Africa. They've gone a little higher ABV as well with the 48.2. Usually Talisker's a little bit less. So again, you're getting more of that richness coming through. It's not been diluted down too much, so it's not going to be thin, is what maybe like some of the complaints about the 10-year-old might be nowadays. But yeah, I definitely need more time to get acquainted with this one.
Yeah, because and also with this will probably be the 6th whiskey we've had today, and so so there's always that in it as well. But there's it's very simple to me. It comes in on the front end, and it's all you'd expect with Talisker. On the nose like this maritime TCP. You've got that absolute Talisker flavor on the front end, and then all of the back end is just like what you standard expect of if you just necked a glass of red wine. It's all red wine on the finish. Tannins. I'm not getting anything different than tannins. I'm not getting anything different on the finish, but it's kind of like it's like a 2-step process, isn't it? It's like Talisker, then red wine.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, good way to describe it. Right, well,